Do you ever put off things around the house? You see them there, they get on your nerves day in, day out, but you kind of say you're going to get around to it? Yeah, around to it. I actually had a guy in a furniture store hand me a wooden round to it one time to remind me to come back to his store because I said I might come back later and look at some things, and he said, here's a round to it. Well, today I'm going to talk about one of those round to-its that has driven me crazy for the longest time, and I just keep putting it off, and then I see it and it gets on my nerves again. Today we're going to conquer getting residue off around the edges of the wooden floor. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sawdust and Cornbread. I'm Laura Lee. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you're a first-time guest, be sure to click the like button on this video and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications because I put out new material every week. We've lived in this house for over 20 years. I think it's going on 22 years now. And at some point in the history of the home, there was carpet on the floor. Of course, we removed that after we moved in. But someone decided it was a good idea to caulk around the edges of the baseboard in the floor. Don't ever do that. There's a gap there for a reason, to allow expansion and for it to retract when it gets cold or warm. Whenever you have a wood floor, you need that extra space. Some people put a toe kick in that space or a little quarter round. I'm not a big, huge fan of that. I like a cleaner look. So I had to go through and remove manually all of this caulk that was in between that little space between the baseboard and the wood floor. It was a mess. Well, not only was the baseboard caulked against the floor, someone had also painted the baseboard and didn't put any tape or anything down to protect the wooden floor. So all along the edges of the wooden floor is this nice white, cream, beige, several different layers of paint. So I had to scrape all of that off. If any of you guys know a better way to get this off of a floor, let me know. I used a scraper with a blade edge on there. Yeah, it really cranks up your hand and it took a long time. Then after I did all of the scraping, pulled all of the caulk out, I took just a little bit of acetone on a paper towel to get the rest of the residue up the best I could. Needless to say, it was very refreshing. The room looks much more open without all of that mess and border around the floors that has been there for the length that we've lived in this house at least. But that also exposed some rough looking floor underneath. To take care of that, I'm going to revisit this Bona Wood Floor Polish. I used the High Shine. Not sponsored, but I'm telling you, if you have an older wood floor, this stuff works like magic. And I'm going to use a different application technique today. After I swept the floor thoroughly, vacuumed and mopped, actually I went ahead and by hand cleaned the whole floor, all of the wooden floor in my living room and kitchen by hand using paper towels and the Bona Floor cleaner, just the regular wood surface cleaner. Made sure I got all of the dust and everything off of the floor, and then I used the Bona Wood Floor Polish. In the last video, and I'll put a link up at the top, I used the method that Bona recommends, using actually one of the Bona mop heads. It's a microfiber mop head. It was okay. It really did shine the floor up, but I wanted to try a different technique, so I used a microfiber pad. You can buy these for refinishing floors. You usually use polyurethane. But I decided to use this polyurethane spreader pad to apply the wax, and here is how it went. As you can see, the Bona Wood Floor Polish really brought back those edges where I had scraped back to life. I went ahead and put a full coat on the floor and it shines like never before. I think that these polish pads are a great idea for applying the Bona wood polish. Thank goodness now I don't have that white border. It really opened up the room and it has a much more finished look. If you have hardwood floors, I highly recommend this Bona Floor Polish. If you're not able to refinish anytime soon, it works great. And there's a lot of bad reviews. And one thing that I noticed that was similar about all of those reviews, most of the people who said they didn't get results have manufactured wood floors, like those prefabricated, pre-finished wood floors that they put in, not original old wood floors. So there may be a difference if you have manufactured wooden floors versus original oak floors that were installed that just need some love and care. That's the only difference I can see. I haven't had any problems with it. Super excited about the way this looks and glad to finally get around to it. Do you have projects you want to get around to? Stop putting them off. Usually they don't take that long and you get rid of all that daily frustration. It builds up. Get it done and be happy with the home you have. Let's take what we have and make it into the home we want. Thanks so much for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. God bless.